Hi, it's Dr. Shaunna of drshaunna.com and welcome to Superfood Spotlight. This week in the Spotlight, we are featuring beans, all kinds of beans. So what makes them so super? Well, you know, when I think back to going to school, learning about the food pyramid, and you learn about that meat and alternative food group. And really, most people just think about the meat, but what's the alternative? And I want to talk to you about beans and how this is a phenomenal alternative. So it just might have you considering some alternative therapy. So there are a lot of superpowers lurking in here, and as we go through them, you might just consider trading in that cow for some magical beans. So let's look into it. It is low in fat, high in fiber, high in protein. So you already know this is going to be awesome for weight loss. It's going to be fantastic for diabetes, very diabetic friendly. They're also very economical. And they're heart healthy. Now, there was a study that looked at over 9,000 people over a 19-year-long period. And they found that the people who had beans 4 times a week or more had a 22% less likely risk of heart disease than those who had it less than once a month. And Dr. Dean Ornish also has the DASH diet, which has been shown to lower blood pressure and reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke. And in that, beans 4 times a week is part of his diet as well. And this current MIND diet that they're talking about that reduces Alzheimer's by 53%, beans 3 times a week are a part of that. So they've kept that into that as well. It is a cancer crusher. So Harvard Nurses Health Studies found that women who had beans, again, twice a week were more than 25% less likely to develop breast cancer than those who had it just once a month. A study of over 3,000 men found that those who had the most beans had a 38% decreased risk of prostate cancer, and a really large study in the Netherlands found that looked at 60,000 men, and they found that those who had the most beans had a 30% decreased risk of prostate cancer, so similar. And there are substances in beans, saponins, phytic acid, and protease inhibitors that help to slow the growth of tumors and inhibit new blood vessel formation. So that's some of the reasoning behind that. Also in beans are folate. So if you are pregnant or considering to get pregnant, beans are a great thing to have in your diet because folate helps to reduce the risk of spina bifida in the fetuses. So that is something that you want to consider if you're wanting to grow your own little super beanie baby. So one of the reasons that stops people from incorporating beans is the gas. So let's just talk about that. Let's clear the air, as it were, and I'll do a little public service announcement here on how to reduce gas emissions. So what you can do is if you have beans that are dried, one of the things that is extremely helpful is to soak them for 8 hours and then change the water. So rinse and drain and change that water. And you'll get rid of some of those undigestible oligosaccharides, specifically stachynos and raffinose. Now I call those like stinky nose and rough on the nose. And so these are substances that you can rinse off, and if you exchange the water, that's the important part. But if you don't do that, as you eat those, they will ferment. There's bacteria and fungi in the colon that can help ferment these, and the result is not pretty. So the best thing is to soak them and change that water in exchange. And whatever you do, just cook them in a different water than what you soak them in. So that's the main thing. And the other alternative is to rinse and use your canned beans. Now you can find organic black beans, for example, and another thing, if you're getting canned, it's nice to look for the non-BPA lining or the BPA free if you're looking at cans. But a really easy, convenient way is to get them just in the can, and they're also fantastic. Another way to incorporate is in the form of spaghetti, for example. So I love this organic black bean spaghetti. It's non-GMO. It's got 22 grams of protein in just one serving, 10 grams of fiber, and only 3 grams of sugar. So pretty awesome. So a great alternative to, say, a whole grain, and, of course, gluten-free. So that is something that we incorporate a lot in our family. Another way to incorporate that is in terms of hummus. So get chickpeas or garbanzo beans, however you like to consider it, and mix it up. And you can use a number of beans as a base for a type of hummus that you can dip chips in, or like a whole grain chip, or vegetables in. And then edamame is another great one. So these are soybean pods of this edamame, and you just slide them through your teeth, and then you just discard the outside. And they are really high in protein, a great lean protein. Now, a couple of things. Soy is one of the most genetically modified organisms. So what you might want to do is look for organic non-GMO, and those are actually fairly easy to find. You can find those. I find them in Costco and a number of other stores like that. So it is, but you do have to look. And if they don't say it's organic non-GMO, then it probably isn't. So that's one of the things that you want to look for, especially if that's important to you. Another way that you can get some of these great beans is do a 3-bean salad, or you could even do a Mexican layered dip, which you can do that healthy. You could do a black bean dip, have some no-fat sour cream, and maybe some guacamole. All of those things can make a great layered dip. Also throwing it in chili, throwing them in stews, throwing them in soups, making soups. And this is the great basis for an amazing bean soup. So lots of ways. You can also throw a handful of beans, whether they're black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, on a salad. That is one of my favorite ways to get a lean protein in. I like to have a bit of protein with every meal and snack. So throw them on your salads. That makes it really easy. Throw them in your chilies, throw them in your stews, and just get it on in there. So beans are our superfood of the week. They will be featured in at least 2 of our meals in the meal planning service Meal Cure. If you've not heard of Meal Cure, go on over to mealcure.com. It's an amazing meal planning service that helps you take the stress and chaos out of dinner and put the fun, joy, and most importantly, health right back in. Go on over, you'll see it's absolutely fantastic way. So if you like this video, please like and leave a comment below. How do you like to get your beans in? And have any questions? Feel free to pop that in the comments below. All right, have a fantastic week. Be good for you.